have an experience that just seems so unlikely, right? Hume is going to say, well, it probably is. Even if you can't come up with any other good explanation, natural explanation, like maybe you think it has to be aliens, or it has to be ghosts, or it has to be God, or it has to be something supernatural, right? He thinks, nope, your history of experience of non-miracles, right, means that you should just doubt that you had, right? You were just probably mistaken. It couldn't have been what you thought you saw. So, last few minutes here, I want you to think about it. Maybe some people can even be willing to share if they've been thinking about it already. What would it take for you to believe you saw something miraculous? If you saw someone floating in front of you, right, like levitating, what is your inference? What sort of process would you go through? What are some of the things that you would try to eliminate before you arrive at the conclusion that this is a miraculous event? Hidden structures, right, holding them up, right? So even if you eliminate the possibility of it being an illusion in terms of like machinery and, you know, actual setup, that doesn't necessarily mean that you still aren't hallucinating for some reason, right? That your eyes and brain are playing tricks on you for some way. And then, yeah, how would you go about proving that none of that's the case? Because even if you did go to get a blood test, maybe it was something that was in your system for just a short period of time and now it's not, right? Like not everything remains in your system long enough to be tested. This is also, again, it brings up some very basic questions in philosophy and in epistemology about how can we know that what we're seeing is real, right? How can we know that it tracks what's in real life? Like, have you ever had, I know we know about color blindness and things now, but have you ever had like such a staunch disagreement with someone about what color something is? You're like, how are we looking at the same thing, right? But then we also learn again about tricks like with that blue black dress thing, right? That the lighting or what your brain assumes is the lighting can determine what it sees, right? So it's about expectation and all these other things. So, right, we might think that certain people are maybe primed to observe an event and think this is the most likely explanation for that, right? Based on whatever their background experience is. Other thoughts? What else would you guys, what other process of elimination would you go through? Yeah, the idea is like, okay, I would want to verify, like, okay, did you see what I just saw? Right? Like, I'm not sure if I saw it, so I would like some validation from someone else. Yeah, we often like that to get that validation, right? You need to see this too. Make sure I'm not crazy, right? Anything else? Anything else anyone else would do? Good.
Like, well, like if there was person float.
Good. So is the experience maybe not repeatable, but is it long enough for you to, you know, critically engage with it, right? To do some of that checking, right? Because then you might think like, oh, right. Because like if you see something really quickly, it's more likely that you could have been mistaken. But when you have a longer time that you can look at something, right, your brain is able to process more and more of that information. So yeah, if I'm able to see this thing for a longer period of time, that's going to give me more reason to think it's true, right? Than if I only saw it for a brief period of time. Good. Good. So again, now then, take that principle and apply it to then our testimony of miracles, right? That's what Hume is going to say. We're always going to be looking for those things. And he wants us to apply the same criteria we use for judging our experience, right? Also when judging the testimony of others. Right? Can we proportion our belief to the evidence? Okay, so I'll hang out for the next few minutes, but otherwise, I will see you all on Tuesday, where I'm sorry, we're going to be talking more about children facing evil. The problem of evil, the big kahuna, right? Why would an all-good, all-powerful, all-knowing God allow not just any evil to occur, but specifically what appears like unnecessary evil? Right? There seems to be an excess of evil in the world, right? Why so much, we might say, even if some is necessary. Why so much evil, God? All right, so enjoy pondering that. I'm sorry, we'll try to look at some potential resolutions next week as well. All right, have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you.